Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another video of Pancakes Plus. My name's Butch, I'm your host, along with my trusty sidekick Alex, my cameraman. Say hi, Alex.
Hey man, how are y'all?
And we're going to be doing some breakfast foods. Now, if you've seen our other videos, you know I'm not a chef. I don't own a restaurant. I don't work in a restaurant. I'm just an old fat guy that likes to cook. And one of my favorite things to cook is breakfast. And today we're going to go along with some macadamia nut pancakes with white chocolate sauce. So the first thing we need to do is to make the white chocolate sauce. And in this pan, I have 3/4 cups of whipping cream. Now you want to make sure that the whipping cream doesn't burn, doesn't scorch, so you shouldn't boil it. Just let it come until you can see steam coming from it. In this bowl I have 8 ounces of white chocolate morsels. Now this recipe is so simple even Alex can do it. So
Watch it now, I'm making you look good tonight.
now you just pour the hot cream over the morsels, over the chocolate chips, and stir. How simple is that? You just stir and they will melt and you will have your chocolate sauce. So while that's doing its thing, we'll go ahead and start on the macadamia nut pancakes. Let that melt down and stir it just a little bit more. This makes a really creamy, rich white chocolate sauce. And you can do other things to it. You can do some add-ins to it if you'd like. You can do peppermint, white chocolate peppermint. Put some peanut butter flavoring in it, or whatever kind of flavor you want to put in it right here. And it makes a really good white chocolate sauce. So while that's doing that, we'll go to pancake land. Now, in this bowl here, I have 1.25 cups of white lily, and make sure it's white lily, all-purpose flour, 1.25 cups. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of Clabber Girl baking powder. Get all of that in there. 1 teaspoon of Arm & Hammer baking soda, and a pinch of salt. How much a pinch is anybody's guess. I'm going to guess some pinches are bigger than other pinches. Up to that, you take your whisk and you stir this up until you have a good, thoroughly mixed, homogeneous, this is my $600 word for today, homogeneous mixture. Now then, if you've seen our videos, you recognize this as our basic foundation pancake recipe. So, in this jar, in this measuring cup, I have 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Now, I'm using the redneck buttermilk. It's not cultured. You can use the cultured if you'd like. The cultured contains the normal bacteria that live in the gut, but it's killed by the heat. So either one will work. I get the redneck uncultured buttermilk. This is a 1/4 cup of canola oil. And canola oil is virtually flavorless. So that's why we're using it in this one. It also has a high smoke point, which makes it really good for making, for frying stuff. It has a really high smoke point. And here, 1 egg. 1 regular old hen apple. So now As you recognize, this as our basic wets from our basic foundation recipe. Here's where we're going to deviate just a little bit. Almond extract. Put about a half teaspoon of almond extract in here, and then mix it up. And you mix that up good. And the egg acts as an emulsifier to allow the water-based buttermilk and the oil to mix to make a smooth combination. Smooth combination. Sounds like a good name for a country song. Alright. And that's that. Now, for this recipe, we're going to deviate a little bit more. Let's go check our white chocolate. White chocolate is getting there. Look there, it's melting down really nicely. Now you want to do this, you want to make this in time for it to be at room temperature before you use it. I'm hoping that's what we've done. And make sure you keep that stirred up while you're doing this other stuff. Okay. Another deviation on this recipe is the macadamia nuts. And you need crushed macadamia nuts. Now you can use one of those little pulsating blender type things, or a food processor. But I have a tendency to over process, and I get a lot of powder, nut powder. So I just take a plain old plastic bag, get most of the air out of it. I've got a meat tenderizer. You can use a hammer, shoe saw, whatever you happen to have, and just kind of tap it a little bit like that. Kind of break them up a little bit. Don't want to break them up too finely, or you'll just have, like I say, you'll have powder, which is okay, you know, not for our purposes. There we go. I believe that'll work. Now then, we add. This is about a half cup, so we're going to add enough directly into the dry mix. We'll add some in there. Hold out enough for garnish. Now then, we take our wets, put them in the dries. And stir. Now, a mistake a lot of people make is by mixing it too much. You only want to mix it until all the powder is moistened. And there will be lumps, but never fear, the lumps will cook out. So there we go. Now then, back away. Time's up. Back up. Now then, this needs to rest. And it needs to rest so that the baking soda and the acid in the buttermilk can react and start the rising process. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a minute out. Stir that, keep stirring this up a little bit. We're going to take out just a minute. Put our Toll House chocolate morsels, white chocolate morsels there. Turn on our griddle to 350. And when the griddle gets to 350, we'll be ready to make pancakes. And we're back now. The griddle has reached a temperature of 350 degrees. So we're ready to cook some pancakes. First thing we're going to do is oil down the griddle. If you don't have a griddle like this, you can use a 2-burner griddle, a skillet, whatever you happen to have, whatever you use to make your pancakes. Now, when you're working with really sticky materials like this pancake batter, honey, syrup, anything like that, here's your trick. If you'll spray your measuring cup or whatever with oil, it will come out a lot better. Put your one pancake right there. See how that came out? All right. And another pancake right here works great for honey, syrup, any kind of sticky material. So, we are making macadamia nut pancakes here. We get 3 on this little tabletop griddle here. The recipe normally makes about 5 or 6, depending on what size cup you use. I use a 1/2 cup if the pancake is going to be the meal, or a 1/3 of a cup if it's going to be a side stack. So we're going to wait on these now to get to a point where they need to be flipped, and then we will resume. And now then, it's almost time to flip these puppies. If you know when to flip, when you look at them and they're dry around the edge, these are not quite there yet, but they will get dry around the edge and start forming bubbles in the middle. This one's getting really close right here. Dry around the edge, bubbles in the middle. But it's going to be just a couple of more minutes on that. So we'll go back over here and stir up our sauce. Oh yeah. See how smooth that's getting? That's going to be good. Now it will get thicker as it gets cooler, and technically or traditionally it needs to be at room temperature before you serve it. So you need to make this, you could even make it a day ahead and put it in the refrigerator and then just let it sit out and get to room temperature. And I believe these are ready to flip now. So you just take your little old spatula, ease that sucker over. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Pop that little fella over like that. And like that. And Alex, the one thing we forgot was the butter. We forgot to get out the butter and the knife. So, Mr. Alex is going to eat these tonight, so he's young and healthy and not interested in calorie restrictions, not on any kind of cholesterol medicine, so we'll put him some butter on here. Let that melt right on top of that little sucker. Now then, another question is, when are they done? Well, the way you test to see if they're done is you touch them right here in the center, and they should spring back just a little bit. Should be firm to the touch and not feel gushy inside. I guess, I don't know if gushy is a good cooking term, but it works for me. So those are ready. Take one up and put it on your plate. Like so. Plate up the next one. Like so. And the third one. Like so. There we go. There you go. And little gravy spoon here. Like I say, this should be room temperature. So it's still a little warm. It's still a little runny. You'll still eat it though, won't you, Alex?
Oh yeah.
So, put this on here like this. And it didn't all melt because it hadn't had quite enough time. Like I say, you need to make this 2 or 3 hours to a day ahead. Make your sauce a couple of hours to a day ahead. Keep your There it is. There it's hiding from me back here. And we got some Ready Whip. You can have Ready Whip or homemade whipped cream would be better. I'm too lazy to make it. We may do that one day for a video, Alex. Whipped cream. Put a little whipped cream right on there. Garnish with a few more of these chopped macadamia nuts. And there you have it. Chopped macadamia nut pancakes with white chocolate sauce. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, share it, follow us on YouTube. Be sure and follow us, share us, and like us. And till the next time, may you have Heart of Dixie dishes from the Heart of Dixie.